What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Corolla Customs. This video is going to be the 5 tips to keep your car running smoothly and how to maintain it the proper way. So let's jump right into the video. I wrote a list here so I won't lose my train of thought. Also, if you're interested, Chevy Avalanche swag on my website, CorollaCustoms.com. Proceeds do go to St. Jude's Hospital. We're going to help those kids get a second chance at life. So head over there and purchase your tee now if you're interested. Now anyway, let's jump right into the video. The first thing in maintaining your car, replace your fluids in a timely manner. What I mean by that, I mean replace your engine oil, your transmission oil. Also do your coolant flush. These things help maintain the vehicle the way it's supposed to be maintained. So when you change your oil on time, it's going to help lubricate the parts as it should. Oil helps lubricate and cool down the engine parts. When you leave old oil in the vehicle, you can build up sludge, which is not good for the engine. It loses its viscosity, which helps lubricate the engine. It loses that. It gets weaker and weaker, and then metal will start to rub against metal, and then it'll start to burn out the oil, and it's just going to do a lot of damage than good to your car. So make sure you change your oil and filter on time. Make sure you replace your transmission fluid as well. That leads me to another thing with transmission fluid. I do not believe in lifetime fluid. There's no such thing as lifetime. Nothing lasts a lifetime. There's no such thing. Everything needs to be changed on time. So transmission fluid does not last a lifetime. There is an expiration date to that. It's fluid. It's going to lose its viscosity. It's going to lose its body. So you do have to change that. Sealed transmissions, not really sealed. There's a way to drain the oil and there's a way to fill it back. So you just got to look on YouTube and find videos of it, or just do some research. Or just give it to someone who knows what they're doing. Second thing, wash the salt off your car. I cannot stress this enough. If you live up north and it's snowing and they throw a lot of salt on the ground, make sure when you're washing your car, you rinse off the underneath of the car with a hose, power washer, whatever it is. Rinse it off. You don't want the rust to start eating away at the body of your car. You don't want it to start eating away at the frame of your car. You don't want it to start eating away at anything. So rinse it off. Undercoat it when you can. I usually like to put POR 15 on the underside of my car. Anything with exposed metal, POR 15. It's a rust inhibitor. It works really well, and it gives the metal such a longer life. So I recommend you doing that. But definitely wash your vehicle, wash off the salt. It'll do so much good for you with the paint and keeping the rust away. Third thing, replace what needs to be replaced. This I cannot stress enough. If you need a ball joint replaced, please get that replaced. If you need a tie rod end replaced, please get that replaced. The longer you hold this off, the more damage you're doing to your car. If you don't change the tie rod on time, your alignment's going to be out of whack. Then you're going to start to need tires because it's prematurely wearing. Then you're going to start to, if your ball joint's messed up, eventually your sway bars are going to get messed up. You know, things like that. One thing happens with the other in a comparison. You know, if your CV axle is messed up, change it out, because eventually it's just going to pop and then you're not going anywhere if it's the drive axle. You know, if a motor mount's wearing out, change that one motor mount, because the others are getting a lot more stress on them holding up the engine, and then those are going to start to prematurely wear out, and it's just going to be much more expensive. People wait for the last minute, and then they don't want to spend the money needed to fix it, because now the bill is so big, they say, heck no, it's not worth it. If you took care of the first problem with the little bill, it wouldn't escalate to that much. So take care of your stuff. Fourth thing on the list, replace dry rotted tires. This is most importantly. You might see tires on a car with brand new tread. It looks brand new. It's so much meat on the tire that you say, oh, this can go another 3-4 years. Nope. If you see cracks along the sidewall, if you see cracks on the actual tire grooves themselves, replace them. That is what I do. We usually get rid of our tires every 3 years, because you start to notice that it'll start to crack. These tires cause blowouts when they crack. There is a video, I'm going to link the description below, where I made a video on how to check the tire date. That's the date that it was manufactured. When you're driving on these things and they're cracked and dry rotted, it will cause a blowout. You'll lose control. You'll get into an accident, or worse, you'll hurt someone or you hurt yourself. Remember, when you're driving on the road, you're not just driving for yourself, you're driving for the other people on the road as well. So, be very alert with these things. People don't notice. There's a lot of things that go into when it's driving a car. You have to be very cautious of what you're doing. You have to know your vehicle, and you have to make sure that everything is up to date, because it's your life in your hands, and this is what's taking you from point A to B. So that I cannot stress enough. Get rid of those dry rotted tires. Always make sure you're getting the most up-to-date, brand new tire there. Even if you go to the tire shop, tell the people, look, I want a tire that's manufactured from this year. We're in 2019. Tell them I want a tire that's manufactured in 2019. I don't want one that was manufactured in 2015 and you're putting it in my car now. No, I want one in 2019. Sometimes there are ones from 15, 16 that aren't dry rotted yet, that are good, but I'm very anal about that stuff, and I make sure that they're giving me the best tire that's possible. I make sure that they're giving me ones from 2019 or 2018. That's me. That's how I do my things. I'm just trying to help you guys out. And the fifth and final thing on my tips to keeping your car the best it can be is use quality parts. That I cannot stress enough too. You can go to aftermarket stores and buy parts. There's another video that I made on that, aftermarket versus OEM. You can go and buy an aftermarket part, which could be better than the OEM, or could be worse than the OEM. I usually like to go for OEM parts for certain things, especially electronics. Definitely OEM, that's what I always go for. But you don't want to go buy a suspension part that's crappy and it's going to just wear out really fast, and you don't even know when it's worn out that it's going to wear out all the other suspension components around, and it's just going to cost you so much more headache and a bigger problem in the future. So buy something quality, buy something that you know. For example, my Chevy Avalanche, one of its makers and parts is AC Delco. I make sure I look for every AC Delco part I can possibly get my hands on. Whether I shop on eBay, Amazon, or the auto parts store, I make sure it's AC Delco. I bought, transmission fluid, AC Delco. Let me just digress real quick. Back to the transmission fluid as well. I'm a big believer in getting the OEM factory transmission fluid. I don't care what anyone else says. There's going to be a lot of hate on this video probably because of it. People are going to say, oh, you can get the aftermarket fluid. In my country, where I'm from, we know that using an aftermarket fluid damages the transmission sometimes. It doesn't cause it to run as well as it should. I am a big believer in getting the OEM fluid. It's something about the way they do it, whatever they put in it. So you get, I get AC Delco transmission fluid for my truck. That's OEM. I'm a little different when it comes to transmission fluid. I always get the OEM fluid. I don't get anything that's like OEM. I get the legit OEM fluid. I always go to the dealership and pick up the fluid. Why? Because I've had problems before using aftermarket transmission fluids where the transmission started to give problems. It wasn't shifting properly. And then when I redrained it and refilled it with the OEM fluid, it was working phenomenal. Something about that specific fluid made for that car is some kind of additive or something that they put in it that makes it work the way it should work. Now, that's just me digressing, so let's just get back to it. Yeah, so use your quality parts. I'll touch that in a later video with the transmission fluid. But yeah, use your quality parts, and these tips will definitely ensure that your car lasts a long time. I guarantee with that Chevy Avalanche of mine, it's gonna hit me 1,000,000 miles. I don't care what anyone says. I definitely have to rebuild the engine coming soon. That will definitely need one, only because the last owner or the owner before him, whoever did it, did not take good care of it, did not change the oil on time. There's a lot of sludge buildup in that engine. It's still running, so I'm just going to wait for it to to just die on me. I'll make a whole video on that, scrapping it down and rebuilding it back up for you guys. So that's something to look forward to. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these tips. If you have any tips of your own that you'd like to share with me, please make sure you leave them in the comment section below. I will read all of them and I will respond. So if you're new to my channel and you like my videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button and also hitting the bell notification on top. And also, like and comment on the video as well. And if you like my t-shirt swag that I talked about in the beginning, please make sure to hit the note card up here. And check out my website, CorollaCustoms.com. You can find them there. All the proceeds to these t-shirts do go to St. Jude's Hospital, and we're going to help those kids get a second chance at life. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.